The Afghanistan largest artificial river megaproject stands as a groundbreaking testament to the country's dedication to innovative solutions for critical challenges. Designed to tackle water scarcity and revolutionize agricultural practices, this visionary initiative embodies hope for a sustainable and prosperous future. So, without further ado, let's dive into the video and subscribe to the channel. Afghanistan is perhaps the last country in the world that one would expect to launch successful megaprojects, especially since the country has been nothing but a war wreck plagued with violence and poverty for the past 50 years. But today, and despite the endless hardships and misery, Afghanistan has launched and is halfway through the implementation of its first megaproject with zero foreign aid and literally not even engineering advice from anywhere. The project is an artificial river called the Kosh-Tepe Canal that, once completed, will be one of the longest and largest irrigation canals in the world. What is the Kosh-Tepe Canal? Why are they building it? And how did they succeed in achieving such a colossal milestone? The Kosh-Tepe Canal is 285 kilometers long, 152 meters wide, and 8.5 meters deep artificial river in northern Afghanistan that extends from the Arid River starting in the province of Balkh and passing through the provinces of Jozan and Faryab. Approximately half of the canal has been completed, and the rest is being built at a rather fast pace due to an ongoing growing water and food shortages crisis across the country. Some countries that share the Arid River with Afghanistan complain that the canal may affect their share of the river water. However, Afghanistan has vowed to not allow such a thing to happen. It is also clarified that it is the only country that literally does not benefit from the river, and thus it is entitled to its share. This canal is quite an urgent matter for the people of North Afghanistan, which has become an arid desert over the past few decades as a result of global warming, declining groundwater reservoirs, and lack of sufficient irrigation systems. The canal is now bound to provide water to more than 1 million Afghanis, while enabling thousands of farmers to return to agriculture. This will be achieved as 55,000 hectares of land are turned into farms with a great focus on grains and wheat. In fact, the country aims to become a wheat exporter by 2028. The project began in March 2022 and is set to be completed in 3 phases. The first and second phases involve the actual digging of the canal, while the third phase is dedicated to the installation of water irrigation systems and other infrastructure. The project is managed by the Afghani National Development Corporation and is fully funded by the government from tax revenues. Initial estimates put the cost at $500 million. However, new estimates predict the need for additional $100 million. This leads us to wonder how the Afghanis managed to undertake such a colossal project with limited and rather old equipment, a limited number of experienced engineers, and no outside help. Some Asian media outlets were too harsh when describing how the Kosh-Tepe Canal is being built. They alleged mistakes, carelessness, and poor engineering methods. However, we did our homework, and needless to say, those media outlets are dead wrong. The government funded the project and designed it based on intensive land surveying and soil studies. They did not send some diggers to conduct such complex work in a random manner. One of the main objectives of these studies was to ensure that water lifts are not needed due to associated costs, flood prevention during winter, and thus the canal had to take a path on flat land, with an elevation similar to that of the source area on the Arid River. They also had to ensure that the canal path is located on the most fertile lands and within close proximity to towns and villages along the way. Once the canal path was set, 200 private contractors were spread over 114 sections, representing the first phase that extends 108 kilometers. As many as 7,000 haul truck and excavator drivers, among others, including project engineers, worked and are still working on the project, as they have now moved to Phase 2, which is 177 kilometers long. Each contractor would spread tens of excavators in a line with enough space in between for the haul trucks. The trucks would then be filled, and leave in an orderly manner to dump their loads in nearby designated low-elevation areas. Once a section is dug and approved by the engineers and supervisors, the machines move to the next section and replicate the process based on detailed maps and specifications. The first step in the whole project involved the construction of 14 hydraulic gates that are topped by a bridge for vehicles. These gates were constructed for flood prevention during the winter and heavy rainy periods when the Arid River levels rise. The 114 sections were separated from one another by an undug, a few meters wide dirt wall, in order to control the filling process and to prevent soil displacement at the banks, meaning the sections were filled rather slowly. Once section number 1, which is closest to the Arid River, was completed, the water was allowed to flow into it. From there, other sections were filled gradually, as the dirt walls between them were removed. This canal's floor and sides were not lined with concrete slabs, which, depending on who you talk to, is either good or bad. However, from our perspective, and based on Arid area water levels, which have not declined as a result of filling phase 1 of the canal, no concrete slabs mean more eventual natural irrigation up a kilometer away from the canal sides, in addition to higher groundwater reservoir levels, which act as backup water sources during potential harsh droughts. And there is also the money issue, because installing concrete slabs would have added more than $1 billion to the cost, which is something Afghanistan cannot afford. 2 concrete bridges, one for the Haritan Bulk Highway and another for the railway, were also built, and needless to say the Afghans kept it simple and used a solid reinforced concrete slab design, which involves a cast in situ rather than precast. Phase 1 integrated irrigation pipelines, supplying water to farmers kilometers away and connecting water mains to nearby villages. Despite using dated machinery, a daily removal of 1 million cubic meters of soil occurred during the final phase. Thousands of trees were planted along the canal to prevent erosion, while a 20 kilometers area tested crops and irrigation effectiveness. This phase triggered an economic upturn, employing thousands, revitalizing farms, and enhancing local roads for nearby residents. Contractors and workers are paid well and on time, fostering diversity and worker happiness. Solar panels power homes in disconnected areas, aiding farms and water pumps. Project completion is likely earlier than the 2028 schedule, with added construction of bridges and culverts. Despite progress, Afghanistan faces famine due to severe sanctions. Hope remains for more transformative projects to aid in the country's recovery, supporting water, farming, electricity, and infrastructure needs. Do you think Afghanistan, under the rule of the Taliban, can complete this mega project and initiate new ones? Let us know in the comments section, and please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you.